I'm really excited about this video because it's something I've wanted to try for a really long time. And we've been fortunate enough to pick up a sponsor for today's video to do this exact video that a couple weeks ago I was thinking like, hey, that'd be kind of fun to do that kind of video in the off season. So this video is sponsored by Bespoke Post, and they are a subscription box company that makes boxes for guys. So anything from knives and hatchets to socks to what we have inside this box. Bespoke Post, they've got all kinds of cool stuff. I'll leave a link to the website in the description and you guys can check out all the different offerings. And the thing that makes them different from other boxes is that they send you what is in the coming box and you get to decide if you want that box or not. So tons of different options for boxes, and it's kind of cool that you get to pick and choose what you want to come in the mail. Let's open this up and get on into this video because I'm super excited. Okay, I'm sure you guys can probably tell by the title of this video what is inside this box. Looks like we got some more boxes to unbox. Okay, let's do the big one first. So this box that I've got is the brew kit. So we're gonna learn how to brew beer. There's two things in life that I love: duck hunting and beer. Three things actually. My fiance, love her to death. Have to say that just in case she watches the video. So looks like we got the IPA to brew. Okay. I'm trying not to break anything because I know there's some glass pieces in here. This box comes with everything that you need to brew beer. So we've got some sanitizer and an airlock. We got some yeast and hops. Bottle caps for our bottles. The thing that puts the caps on the bottles. Yep, we got a thermometer. And then we have the mix. So this is probably just a bunch of cracked grain that you use to make beer with. And then of course we've got this thing. I think that's what you put inside the jug to siphon out the beer once you're ready to bottle it. And then we've got this tube. One more box and we'll have everything in here. So it looks like we got two different boxes here. I should open this one up first, but this is from the Forge box that they have. And it looks to be a knife. So like I said, Bespoke Post, they do all kinds of different boxes. I need to be careful opening this up. This is sweet. We've got a Damascus steel knife. Boom. Check that out. That thing is sick. And it also comes with a leather sheath. See, I should have just opened this little box first, so then I could use the knife to open all the boxes. That's a sweet little knife. So you can just go ahead and stick it right in that sheath. Boom. I like that a lot. So this is from the Forge box. We got the brew box and we also got the Forge box. So we got two boxes in today's video. That's a sweet knife. See if you guys can get a close up on that. Damascus steel. Pretty sweet. Now, let's figure out how to brew some beer. The first part that we're gonna do is pretty much make oatmeal with this. It's called mashing in the grains. I'm learning all kinds of stuff about this. This is actually something I've wanted to do and learn, so perfect timing. We've got a pound of grains or something like that, and we need to heat up 2.5 quarts of water and then get that to 160 degrees, dump the grains in there, and then cook it for about an hour, stirring every about 15 minutes or so. So basically we're gonna be heating the 2.5 quarts of water to 160 degrees, add the grain, and then we're gonna cook it for 60 minutes at 144 to 152 degrees Fahrenheit, stirring every 10 minutes. So the temperature is key. It's basically this step is turning grain starches into sugars, which then the yeast produce alcohol with the sugars. And I'm going to be using my digital thermometer for this one, so then it can be pretty accurate. So 2.5 quarts of water coming up. Okay, we just hit 160 degrees in there. So we're gonna go ahead and dump in our grains. They smell really good. So this will drop that water temperature down, but we need to make sure we keep this around like 150 degrees or so. This is kind of fun. I really just hope that this turns out right and it doesn't taste like garbage. So we're rocking 151 degrees. We're still a little hot here. We're up to 154 now. Let's get that temp right, and then we'll let this kind of sit and do its thing for a little while. Okay, we're at about 152. It's holding consistent there. I'm going to take the electronic thermometer out and just use this one that came in the kit while we're just kind of letting it chill. I've just got my fingers crossed that this turns out good, but we got to wait a couple of weeks before we can try the end result. So we're getting close to the next step. The beer is 12 minutes away from being done with the mashing in process. And then we're going to strain it. So we got this strainer. It's probably not the best one to use, but it's all I got, so we'll make it work. It's got nice small holes, so I figured might as well give it a shot. So we're gonna dump this pot into that colander and catch it inside of this pot right here. All the juice will go through, the grains will stay on top. And then what we're gonna do is use this water that I'm heating up to 170 degrees. This is 3 quarts. We're going to dump that over top of the grains to wash out the rest of the stuff that makes beer. So that's next on the things to do, but we got 11 minutes to wait until we can do that. So I think things are coming along pretty good. Now it is time to empty this into there. So we'll try and do this and be careful not to spill. See if you guys will be able to see this. I'm sorry. This kitchen isn't the greatest for this kind of thing, but we'll give her a go here. Now that we got all this oatmeal stuff out of here, we're gonna go ahead, put this back over top of that, and we're gonna use the hot water, 170 degree water, and we're gonna dump it over top of this and kind of get whatever's left out of there. Yeah, I think that's how it's supposed to work. Now I need to get my instructions out. The instructions online are actually really detailed, so it's kind of nice. Okay, it says recirculate wort through grain once. So this is the wort, whatever. This is the stuff that it's basically just grain soaked water. That turns into beer. So we got that, and so now we're gonna run it through there again. Okay, now it's starting to look like we're making some beer, huh? Now we have step 3, which is the boil. And so we're gonna basically just be boiling this for an hour and then adding in hops every 15 minutes or so. So I'm gonna add 1/5 of the hops. I got the hops over here. Here's our hops. We'll boil it, and then once it starts boiling, we'll add the hops. 1/5 of them, and then every 15 minutes we'll add some more. So when boiling this, we need to keep a pretty close eye on it, because if we boil it too much, then we'll boil off all the sugar, and that's not good because we need sugar to make beer. Getting there. Then we got the hops divided up into 5. This is the important part. I can't mess this up. I'm kind of waiting for it to almost kind of boil. You know, like when you're making spaghetti and things kind of, like the noodles start bubbling up? I think that's kind of the thing I'm looking for here, because that's what it said on the instructions, where like it'll bubble over, so you got to keep an eye on it. So I think that's what we're looking at here. Okay, it's starting to foam up a little bit. I think I need a bigger pot. Oh, crap. Crap, 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 crap. I need a bigger pot. I need a bigger pot. It's almost like it just kind of got thicker as it was starting to boil. If it boils over, it boils over. It's kind of whatever. Yeah, so it got to a point where it was just about to boil, and it was just like foam. So I think we hit the temp that we needed to hit. So we'll just kind of, I'm gonna toss in the first set of hops right now. We'll keep boiling this, add this every 15 minutes, and we'll keep at it here and hopefully not have too many boilovers. I'm gonna need to get a bigger pot if we keep doing some beer making videos. I'll catch up with you guys when we're at the next step. Okay, as that's boiling and doing its thing, we still got about half an hour left on that. I'm going to start using some of the sanitizer stuff. So we're going to be sanitizing everything that we're going to use from here on out. So we're going to sanitize my funnel. You guys might get a kick out of this. Here is my funnel. I don't have a funnel, so I'm going to use this plastic bottle, and I had to think of a way to use a mesh strainer because I don't have one of those and I didn't want to run to the store. So here's what we're going to do. To get the stuff out of the pot, we're going to use this. We're going to scoop it up and we're going to dump it into this. So don't tell my fiance this, but I'm going to use her little fancy coffee filter thing that's for the coffee pot. We're going to use that to strain the beer. So that should work. So we'll go here to here, get it in here, and then this into the funnel, and then through the funnel into our fermentation jug. And then we'll get into all the other caps and vent tubes and all that stuff here in a little bit. But we're going to sanitize everything that we're going to use. So the instructions say I need to use half a packet of the sanitizer, mix it with a gallon of water, and then you can just use that to sanitize things. So I'll probably just mix it up in here and then dump it into this bowl and use that to sanitize. Sanitation is key. You will mess up your beer if it's not clean, so let's keep it clean and sanitize everything. Sanitizing is key. So we got everything that we're going to use sanitized, and now we'll just finish up the boiling process and get the stuff put into the fermentation bottle. We're almost done. We've got 8 minutes until we're done boiling. Once we're done with that, we're going to stick it in this ice bath and let it cool down. It says it needs to cool down until 70 degrees. And then after that, we're gonna put it in the big gallon jug, put some yeast in it, and put the blow-off valve on it, put it in a dark place, and then in 2 weeks we'll have some beer. Hallelujah. I think I'm getting the hang of this. This is one of those things where, like, if you do it once, you get the general idea of how to do it. So this is my first time ever brewing beer before, so I'm learning a lot of different things, but this kit made it super easy to get the things that I needed and also just give me step-by-step instructions on what to do. I really hope I followed the directions good enough to make this beer taste good, but we'll find out in about 2 weeks or so. So that'll be a different video. We're gonna just wait another 6 minutes, put this in the ice bath, and then I'll check in with you guys once this is going into the big gallon jug of fermentation. Our hour of boiling is up. We're gonna add the last of the hops into here. We're going to give it a quick stir around, make sure that gets mixed in pretty good. And then into the ice bath until it cools down for a little while. It's time for the final step. We're going to put it into the fermentation bottle. All my stuff is sanitized. And let's just go ahead and get the wort out of the sink, out of the ice bath. Now this is probably going to take a little while longer than it probably should, but that's just kind of what happens when you don't have the proper gear that you need. So we're going to use this little guy, scoop it out, filter it, and then dump it into the bottle. So this will probably take a little while, but this should filter out quite a bit of junk that we don't need in the bottle. So here we go, first pour. We have everything in the bottle. We're right at 1 gallon. Now all we need to do is add our yeast, because the yeast is the most important part of making beer. If you don't have yeast, you don't have alcohol, and that's the point in drinking beer. So we're going to add this in and sanitize my hand, cover it, and shake it up, and then we'll put the one-way valve venting system on there. So we're going to be using the tube and a bowl of sanitizer for the first couple of days, and then we will add this on in a couple of days after that. Hand is getting sanitized. Now we cover that, and hopefully we don't lose control of this and beer goes everywhere. So I guess putting air in this is pretty important too. Hopefully, if we did everything right, there's enough sugar in here to start the fermentation process, and we make beer. Now this guy gets screwed on, and then that goes in just like that. And then this gets submerged under there. So basically what we have made here is a one-way valve. So the yeast in this is going to eat up all the sugar that's from that grain and produce alcohol, but its other byproduct is CO2. So that's a bunch of yeast farts. And that's going to go up this tube. The CO2 gas, carbon dioxide, is going to come out of this tube, go into this bowl of sanitizer. And since this tube is underwater, it's going to let gas out, but not let gas in. So kind of like when you go underwater with a snorkel and then you blow out, all that water and air comes out, but it doesn't let any air in. I think that's the best way I can explain it. So I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Best Poke Post for sponsoring today's video. We got some beer made. We got a sick Damascus steel knife from that box. If you guys are interested in checking out the box and getting one for yourself, they're super customizable. They send you all kinds of stuff that you would actually like. You actually take a quiz on the website and they tell you, okay, here's some options that fit the things that you said that you like. You guys can head on over by clicking the link in the description, and you can use the coupon code OUTDOOR20, all caps outdoor, 20, and you can get 20% off your first box. So take a look over there, see if you like it. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more beer making videos, I'm totally down. I think it's going to be fun, and now that I kind of have a general understanding of how to make beer, it's really not that hard. So let's see if we could do some more beer videos in the future. That'd be kind of fun, something to do in the off season. Leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on my social media. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. So be sure to follow me on there and stay up to date with what's going on. But that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.